Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Mark.
Hello.
Hi, Alina. Hi, Kamari.
How come it works on Jake?
Hi, Angeline.
It is working for you. I think it's the tablet.
Good morning. Four people. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started, okay? All right, so who can remember what we were talking about yesterday in reading? I know we went really, really fast through it. But who remembers?
Contact bar graph thing.
That's math.
Oh,
What were we talking about in reading? What were we getting started on? Text.
Exclusive. Factor? No.
Evidence.
evidence.
Yes, and you were supposed to do one last night on Canvas and send it back to me. Remember that?
Wait, what was my grade on it?
I don't remember right off the top of my head. I have to go back and look. You can probably pull it up on your Canvas and it'll tell you. Okay.
You didn't pay attention to what she said.
All right, guys. Text evidence. Text evidence is something inside the text that's proof of what's going on, how and why something happens, okay? So there's actually three kinds of text evidence that we talk about. The first one is the one we started with yesterday. That's scientific. Remember when we started talking about fossils? The fish, we're going to show it in a minute, but the fish that died and went in the mud and made a fossil? Remember seeing that on the screen yesterday? Is that a yes, a no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's scientific evidence. That means it's in a science book. They can prove it. They can go back into the past and see how things changed. And so with that, they can find the evidence to prove what they're saying is true. Okay? So that's scientific evidence. Then you have something called technical evidence. Okay? Technical evidence is when you have to do something in a specific order or a specific sequence. Okay? Sort of like when you're cooking and you take the recipe. If you started at the bottom of the recipe and went backwards, would the whatever you're making turn out right?
No.
No. So you have to do it in a specific order. That way it's proof that you're doing it correctly and that it's going to turn out correctly. And that goes the same for experiments. When they do experiments in the science lab, they have to do them in a specific order. So they have to be very technical with it. So that's a technical evidence. And then there's a third one, okay? The third one is historical evidence. What do you think historical evidence would be about?
History?
History.
Exactly. History. Historical means history. So how would we go back into history to prove something?
Go back in the passage and read it again.
Yes, you would go back if you had a historical passage in front of you, okay? But we can do research. There are things written down in the past about our presidents, how our country came to be. There's things back in the past about how civilization started. All this stuff is things that we can go back and find proof, right? That it existed, that it happened, because there's written down proof from history, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with those three types, historical text or historical evidence, scientific evidence, and technical evidence, that's what we were getting ready to study yesterday when we ran out of time, okay? So I gave you a packet yesterday to take home with you. Do you have your packet?
Yes.
Yes.
The front of your packet should have something like, let me share my screen here. All right, the front of your packet should look like this. Does it have scientific text? Or does it start with rocks? Or minerals, whatever it says. Does it start with this? A powerful rock? Hi, Sakaria.
Hey.
All right, so your packet there, do you have your packet and it says a powerful rock?
Yes.
Okay. This is a scientific type of evidence, okay? This is evidence from science that's explaining to us why and how something in nature occurs. Because that's science. Science is about nature, right? So we're going to read through this story. We're going to read through this story real quick, and then we're going to answer some of the questions that come after it about what we're reading. We're going to look back in there. It's going to tell us this happened. So how did it happen? Or you're going to tell me what happened because they told you how it happened. Okay? All right, so let's read this. It says, coal may look like ordinary black rock, but inside it contains powerful energy that can be used for heat and electricity. Coal is made from plant matter that was buried far below the Earth's surface for millions of years. Did you know that coal was made from plants?
Nope.
Okay, new information. Let's log that into our brains. Okay. Being buried so deeply and for so long, the plant matter under intense heat and pressure. Have we heard that somewhere before? Intense heat and pressure.
Yes.
What does that cause?
Metamorphic.
A metamorphic rock. Okay. So under intense heat and pressure, the heat and pressure causes the chemical and physical characteristics of the plant matter to change. Eventually, the plant matter turns into coal. So coal is what type of rock?
Metamorphic.
Coal is a metamorphic rock. Okay? Coal must be mined or dug up from below the ground. After it's mined, the coal travels to a machine that cleans it. The process removes dirt, rock, and other unwanted materials. Next, heavy machines crush the coal until it becomes a fine powder. Finally, the coal is burned to make steam. Special machines called turbines use the steam to create electricity. So the coal has to be cleaned, and then it has to be crushed, then it has to be burned, then it makes steam, right?
Yeah.
Today, generators fueled by coal supply much of the world's energy. But the process used to make coal and convert it into fuel can pollute our air, land, and water. When coal is burned, harmful chemicals are released into the air. These chemicals get carried through the air by the wind and fall into raindrops. This is called acid rain. It can make plants and animals very sick. Engineers are developing new technologies to reduce the potential air pollution from coal. These promising solutions may help us get the most from this powerful rock while protecting our precious planet. Now, this story has given us information that's scientific about what? About what?
Coal?
Coal.
Coal.
They're telling you how coal is made, where we find coal, what coal's used for. Okay? Then they're telling you some harmful things. They're telling us good uses. Then they're switching over and they're saying, but it can also be harmful to our planet. And here's how and why. Okay? So they're giving you what it can do with evidence, and then they're giving you harmful things it can do with evidence, good and harmful. All right. So the next thing you have is this page right here, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I have this new little device thing that's hooking this Elmo to my computer, so I'm gonna try to switch screens. I hope that it will switch screens. We'll see.
Okay.
So that I can type on this. We'll see. I don't know if it will. Come on.
With some cheese.
I don't know what is going on with this thing. Okay, is the screen changed? Do you see what the story Rocks and Powerful, or the Powerful Rock? What do you see on your screen?
Second page.
Do you see this page that says what happens and how and why it happens?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I got that thing.
Yes.
All right. So you have this here in front of you, correct? You have that page with you too?
Yep.
All right, so let's look at what happens. It says that in the story, it says plant matter from millions of years ago is changed into coal. All right? So the next thing we want to do at the top up here, it says how and why it happens. So how is plant matter changed into coal? Through what?
Heat and pressure.
Hey,
Right.
Machines.
Through,
Machines.
no, it doesn't. The machine does not change it into coal. What did we say changed it into coal? Look back in your story.
Heat and pressure.
Through heat and pressure, remember?
it's heat.
Through heat and
It
pressure.
says
Okay, read it to me. Let me go back and highlight it for you guys. Okay, let's see right here. Buried deep for so long, that plant. Okay, through heat and pressure, the chemical, physical characteristics of the plant matter change. You see that?
and that's when plant matter turned into coal.
All right. So if you got that part, let's look back. Now tell me again, how is it formed? Through heat and pressure. What happens?
I use your headphones. Turns into cool.
Through heat and pressure, a chemical change,
changes
a
gold.
chemical change does what? A chemical change
Turned into gold.
turns it into coal.
Gosh.
Okay? So is that saying the same thing, but going back into the story and finding it? Plant matter from millions of years ago is changed into coal. And so how is that and why does it happen? How it does it is through heat and pressure. And why? Because the chemical change. It has a chemical change after it has heat and pressure. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
That's evidence to prove plant matter changes into coal. That's your evidence, okay? All right, the next one down says, coal is used to produce energy that creates electricity. So we have to go back and find out what happened to make it produce electricity. So we go back into the story. Where do we talk about electricity? Okay. How do we get it to make electricity? Okay. It is machines crush the coal until it becomes a fine powder. And then finally it's burned to make steam. And the steam creates electricity. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Do you see that in your story?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to use that information to fill out the next one here. Coal is used to produce energy that creates electricity. How? It's crushed. What happens after it's crushed? It's crushed and then what? What's your text say? It's crushed into fine powder. Then what?
Then it burned.
Then it's burned, right? And when it's burned, it makes what? Does it make electricity when it's burned?
Steam.
It's burned to make what?
Steam.
Steam.
Block yourself out again.
The steam creates what?
Electricity.
Electricity.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Okay. So using coal harms the environment. Is there somewhere in our story that talks about how the coal, how it harms our environment? Okay, go back to your story. Okay, it's talking out here about coal converting into fuel, and it can pollute our air, land, and water. That's where it says it can harm our environment. Now we want to know how and why. Okay. It's harmful or released into the air. Chemical carried through the air by the wind and fall into the rain droplets is called acid rain. So it says when coal is burned, chemicals are released into the air, right?
Mm.
And it's carried through the air by the wind and falls in the rain. And it's called acid rain. And it makes plants and animals very sick. You see that? So what do we need to write in that next box about how and why? Come on, guys, talk to me.
When fuel is burned, a chemical is released into
All
the
right.
air.
So burn coal releases what, Mark?
A chemical that harms the air and produces acid rain.
The air and the land
So all you do is just count up and count on.
produces acid rain. And what can the acid rain do?
Harm animals and plants.
It can make animals and plants sick. Okay? So that's how we give evidence. All right? So this is scientific evidence, right? Scientific evidence. Let's look at technical evidence for a second. All right, this is technical evidence right here. Technical evidence. This is where you're going to talk about those things that are in a specific order. They have to happen specifically, okay? It says the order of steps to complete a process will help you understand what is important in the text. Kind of like cooking, kind of like doing a scientific experiment, okay? You need to do them in a order, okay? It says that reading the technical text, you will learn that procedures, which is called sequence, procedures are a sequence of steps to follow. Okay? How many of you like s'mores? I like s'mores.
I never actually really had one before.
Oh, honey,
I
you are
never
missing
tried.
out. Somebody get that girl a s'more. She's missing
I love
something.
s'mores. I adore
I ate
s'mores.
one.
I work s'mores.
Okay?
One for twice.
All right. Okay, so we're going to look at this Smasho-Mo, whatever that thing is. Okay? All right, so this says how to make, and you have this one too, correct? You have this one in your packet?
Tell her you're
Yeah.
still seeing the same page.
Are you looking?
Alina's still saying, see the coal paper.
Oh, it's still showing that?
Yeah.
Am I froze?
Yeah, I think so.
We could see your mouse moving.
No, because your
It's not
cursor is still
paying attention.
moving.
We could see your mouse move. Yes, we could see
Yeah,
that.
your mouse is moving.
But the paper looks the same if you have been writing on it.
Hmm.
If you haven't been writing on it, it looks like
All right,
nobody's stuck.
Let's change this. Now do you see this one?
The
Give it a
same
sec.
paper.
It's the same
Same
paper.
paper.
Oh my goodness, let me stop the
Maybe
share and we'll start over, okay? We'll start the share back over. Okay, now is it all off?
Yes.
Yeah, the share's off.
Okay, the share's off. So now let me go back to and share this page and see if it.
Oh, Miss Sparrow. Miss Sparrow.
We officially have 7 students at this meeting.
I officially have 7 now. Oh, the thing is
Well, not
gone.
including you, we have 7 people. 7 students.
Let me share again. Hang on.
Rule the world.
Share screen.
Right there.
Let's see if we can get this one up then. All right. So you see that one?
Okay.
It's
Alright.
the same
Don't-
paper as last.
It's still the,
It's still the exact same paper.
yes.
I can't even see it.
All right. Let me.
Didn't
hang on.
change.
I'm gonna end this thing and bring it back up.
Polar bear.
Oh, this thing's just not working I'm having technical difficulties all day long, seems like. Okay. No screen share and
Sounds awful.
okay, got it coming back up now. All right. Let's see if I can give you. Okay, because mine is showing a different one. Now let's see if I can get a different one. It gives me a pin. I don't know why. Okay. Now let's try screen share again.
Maybe this time it'll work.
Maybe. Cross your fingers.
Okay, they're crossed.
All right. Do you have a different one now?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, the exact same thing with the rock stuff in it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
where I wrote on it.
There's no writing.
There's
No.
no writing.
Yeah.
What do you have now? You have gold?
Gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me go check. Let's see if it'll change over now to this one so that you get a different one.
Well, yeah, we do all of this stuff.
Don't you just love technology?
Sometimes it's really good.
Now do
But
you have,
It's
Do
the
you have-
one that says gold.
Gold.
it still says gold?
Yes.
Gracious. Oh, my
I
mercy.
think we have to end the Zoom meeting, which is sad because I really like these Zoom meetings.
Gracious alive. Did you take home with you one that says technical text that says how to make Smash-A-Mo? Look in your packet.
It's being about making something.
Right, you have gold up there, and that's not what I want. I want to switch to the other one.
There are two passages here. It's about gold. And you got like a couple questions are gold. Like you got like 2 questions. And then we got the
A gold paper.
Should have one that says understanding technical text. That's the next one up there, and it should have been went home with you too.
The next one is something about a fruit after the questions. It's very weird.
Oh, it's on the same paper. I just not noticed that.
Yeah, it's in that same packet.
Miss Miller, I do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, hold up.
Flip the page from the rock one.
Tell me exactly what we're looking for.
It says lesson
There's
3,
gold.
understanding
I have
technical text.
this one.
All right, now do you have something else?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Did we get that? We
Look,
did.
you have a tape that looks like this.
I don't got that paper.
Did we get that?
In the
Elena does.
I put that.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the whole time I was writing on this, y'all didn't see this, right? Right there where I was writing up here, this blue.
I don't got that one.
Okay, well, just keep going, okay? All right, so technical text. This is what what I've been talking about for the last little bit before we had technical difficulties. We have technical text, and it's going to describe steps, which is a procedure, and a procedure is a sequence of steps to follow. Okay. So it says at some point you probably followed directions for putting together a toy or making food. So you were using a technical text or a text that explained how to do a task. Okay?
Hey, Mom, how do you like what?
It's things to explain how to do a task.
Do you like
So we're
squash?
going to read this
Do
recipe.
you want to
Who's
try
that talking?
both? Introducing Smash them, please.
Okay. Read the list of ingredients you need to make a recipe. So here's the ingredients that we're going to need. Okay. It says what you're going to need: 2 avocados, 8 cherry tomatoes, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 2 plastic. Can everybody please mute, because I don't know who has got somebody in the room with them talking, but y'all won't be able to hear me over them. Okay. 1 tablespoon of lime, 2 plastic zipper seal bags, and 1 unopened can of food. Okay. This is just the things you're going to need for this recipe for Smash-A-Mole. Okay. It says next you must put everything together, and it says what steps will you follow. That's where our technical how to do it comes in. So you should have another step page that's going to look like this. Okay. And it says the steps for making this. These steps are not in order right now, so we got to put them in order. We got to figure out what order they go in. It says what to do: roll the can over the bag until the food is smashed and mixed. That's not going to be first. Put the first bag into the second bag and zip the second bag closed. When everything is smashed, open the bag, put the Smash-Ola in a bowl, use a dipper for chips. That sounds like to me that would be the last step, right? Yes? Okay. Peel the avocado and remove the pits. Wash the cherry tomatoes. Put the first 4 ingredients on the list in the bag. Zip the bag, squeeze out. All right, so unmute right now and tell me which one of those would be the very first thing we would do.
Peel the avocado and remove the pits.
Exactly. This is going to have to be number 1, because you would have to do all that before you could start, right?
Yeah.
So that's why this is a technical how to do it. Tells you specifically procedures to do it. Okay? So it says second here is going to be, then you're going to put the first 4 ingredients into the bag and zip the bag. What's the third thing we're going to do? Is it going to be put the bag into the second bag, or when everything is smooth or smashed, open the bag and put the Smash-Ola in a bowl?
Put the first bag into the second bag.
Okay, so the third thing we're going to do, is put the first bag into the second bag. Okay? Then the fourth thing up here says that we're going to roll the can over the bags until the food is smashed and mixed. That means the last thing we're going to do is to open the bag and put it in a bowl. So this is going to be the 5th. Right?
Yes.
So over here, it wants us to tell why you do it. Why do you do the step that you do? Why did you peel the avocado and remove the pits and wash the cherries first? Why did you do that first? In your recipe, why would you do that first? Why would you peel the avocado and remove the pits and wash the cherry tomatoes?
Because if you don't, there's bacteria on it.
Okay. So it needs to be clean. So here you would write, they need to be cleaned. But not only do they need to be cleaned, when you peeled it and removed the pit, you were preparing it, correct?
Yes.
So they need to be cleaned and prepared. Okay. All right, so second says, put the first 4 ingredients on the list into a bag, zip the bag, squeeze out the air. Okay, and then the third thing up there said, why did you do the third thing, which was put the bag into the second bag, was Using a second bag keeps the food safe in case rolling the can breaks the first bag. So why would the second thing you do be put the first 4 ingredients on the list into a Ziploc bag and squeeze the air out? Why would we do that? Why would you put it into a Ziploc bag and
To
squeeze the
hold
air
it
out?
inside the Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
gonna
don't
put
make a
the
mess.
ingredients. You're gonna put the first 4 ingredients into the Ziploc bag. So why would you do that and then squeeze the air out? According to this what we read, okay, what we talked about, it's got specific steps. We cleaned and prepared it. That's what we said when we washed and peeled it. Okay, so then we put the first 4 ingredients into a bag. Why do you put them in the bag? Because they need to get what?
Contains.
They do need to be contained. So we contain them. Contain the ingredients. But don't they need to be together? Can you mix them if they're not in the same bag?
No.
They contain the ingredients to be what?
Mixed.
Mixed. All right. All right, we've run out of time, okay, because I got to go to another meeting. But you guys, you should have this sheet because I sent this home yesterday because I knew we was going to talk about it today on Zoom.
I don't have that sheet.
No, I don't
Ethan
think
does
so.
not have that sheet.
Okay. When you come in on Monday, then the first thing we're going to do is talk about this sheet. Okay? Because this is the technical text where you have to do things, procedures in a specific order, okay? So we'll finish spitting this out on Monday, okay?
Got
All right.
Okay.
I'll see y'all at math time, okay?
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Why is it not ending?
Shut it off now.
I don't know.
Is it still
I keep trying to end it. It's not- There it goes.